two primary roles that are actually fulfilled with the same tool set. The first is the most obvious, which is any account now can rebrand and resell Inbox 25 to their client base. But the reason we refer to it as Agency Edition is because a big demand that we were getting from our client base was we have a lot of PR agencies, marketing agencies, so on, that have to manage Inbox 25 accounts for multiple clients. So that gets a little bit cumbersome in terms of logging in, handling campaigns, keeping everything separate and organized. So that's where we came up with the concept of Agency Edition. But even with using it in that classic terminology, that still includes the rebranding and reselling capability. But the big benefit there is that you can have your single Inbox 25 account and seamlessly hop between multiple accounts that you manage. So that's the two primary roles that we'll be covering today. A few other important points. Any account can activate Agency Edition. Even though it is a separate edition, there are no additional fees for using the functionality. You can add and manage as many clients as you want. You're not restricted. Again, there are no fees based on the number of clients that you do or do not manage. You manage your own billing and pricing structure. So whatever you want to bill your clients for, not just the email services, but if you are reselling this, there's certainly a multitude of services that go along with email marketing, but that is entirely between you and your client. You'll purchase bulk email credits from Inbox 25, and then you can allocate those to your clients really in any denomination that you please. So we'll get into the demonstration. Before we do that, I'm going to try to save 5 or 10 minutes for the end of the webinar so we can do some Q&A. I see we have quite a few people joining us today. So there's a question panel within the GoToWebinar control panel that you can type your questions in once we get to the Q&A, and then I'll do my best to get through as many as possible. But anything that's left over, we will get to via email because we'll be saving the chat log for the entire webinar. Okay, so first step, we're going to be logging into an Inbox 25 account. And just so you know what we're basically acting as now is we'll be demonstrating this as ABC PR agency. So we're not actually logging in as a user that's buying from an Inbox 25 reseller. We are actually acting as the account right now. So the first step is we're going to customize the interface. So as you can see right now, my interface is branded as Inbox 25. So now I've decided that I want to rebrand and resell Inbox 25. So to start, I'm going to click on Settings and Customization Options. And the first element I'm going to customize is Color Scheme. So we provide some optional color scheme combinations that you can use. But at the same time, you can also provide, we also provide full customization. So if you have specific RGB values for your brand, you can also use those. Or if you'd like, you can use our color picker. So you have lots of options. So I'll go ahead and add an RGB value. And as you can see, everything gets updated in real time. So I'm satisfied with the way that looks, so I'll click on Update. And that takes care of the color branding. Now I want to replace the Inbox 25 logo. So I'm going to replace that with my company logo. Again, click Update. And now I've also rebranded the Inbox 25 logo with my own logo. So once you're satisfied with both these changes, then we'll actually proceed to enabling Agency Edition. So on my account, I've already done that, but an important consideration here is whenever you enable Agency Edition, you also get to select a custom branded domain that your clients will see and will also use for accessing some tools. Important to know, you can only choose this particular name once. You can't change it after you choose it, so just make sure that you think on that before you go ahead and do it. So in our case, we did abcpr.securenet89.com. So keep in mind, SecureNetGate9.com is an Inbox 25 access domain. We keep all of those generic, again, because the whole idea behind the rebranding and reselling is to keep Inbox 25 entirely hidden from your clients, so they have no idea that your particular application is simply rebranded. So just really quick, I'll show you exactly what that looks like. When you go to that domain. So this is your custom branded login form, and more likely than not, you will share this with your clients, or you can also link it from your website, wherever your particular client base will be going to access their campaign management. But this is what they see, completely branded, borrowing from the color scheme that we selected, and then also, of course, implementing the logo that we also selected as well. Okay. So now that we've enabled Agency Edition, we've rebranded the application, now we'll get into Client Manager. So to do that, we'll go to Settings and click on Client Manager. So the Client Manager essentially serves as your primary hub for any agency client management, hence the name Client Manager. At the top, you'll see that we have 50,000 email credits available, and this is an important distinction. So to allocate email credits to your clients, they have to be part of a pay-as-you-go package or additional email credits that Okay, folks, sorry about that. We're having a pretty bad thunderstorm in New York, and we just lost power for a moment. Okay, so we're back. So where we left off with was showing the options for adding new clients to your account. So again, the two primary options are you can manually add a client yourself, or you can publish and broadcast your personalized, custom-branded sign-up form for any client to sign up with. Those are the two options. They're completely at your discretion, primarily depending on, again, whether you're going primarily with the resell or agency with full management will probably dictate which of the methods you use, if not both. So, okay, we'll get back to Client Manager. So underneath the sign-up URL, you'll see a table, Your Clients. And what this is basically a high-level view of all of your clients and some of their basic account activities, such as their last login, number of users on their accounts, number of campaigns sent, so on and so forth. We'll show you integrations that are active on their account. So if they're using Salesforce integration, a Sugar CRM integration with Google Analytics, so on and so forth, just so you can have an idea of how your client base is actually using the platform. To manage a client, what we'll do is just click on their name. In this case, we'll click on BMW of North America. And what we'll see is basically all of the management tools that you have available for individual clients. Right off the bat, most obvious, you can suspend a client. You can update all of their account information. But probably the most useful tool that we'll spend the most time on is email credit management. So essentially, as I said earlier, you purchase bulk credits from Inbox 25, and then you can allocate them in essentially any denomination that you'd like to your clients. What you'll see is we have 50,000 credits available. We haven't allocated any credits to this client to date. The only minimum in this case is you have to add a minimum of 1,000 email credits to a client account. Past the point of 1,000, it can be anything from 1,001 to 1,000,001. That's completely up to you. But the minimum is 1,000. So it's very simple. We'll just go add 1,000, click Save, and that's all it takes. And we have a full transactional record of every allocation for the client. Now, if we want to remove credits, same process. Just add in the number of credits you want to remove and click Save. Now, one important distinction, anytime you're doing email credit management, you have to maintain at least a transactional level of 1,000 email credits because that's our minimum. That's not to say that a client can't have an available credit balance under 1,000. So, for example, if you allocated 1,000 email credits to a client and they sent out a campaign to 250 recipients, well, obviously they would only then have 750 email credits available, and that's fine. But if you wanted to add credits or remove them, you have to be within that 1,000 minimum. So just keep that in mind. Well, at the same time, if you want to zero out a client's account and bring them back to a free trial account, you can do that just by removing all of their active credits. The other components that you can manage are email test credits. So email test credits are for our email testing suite, and essentially 1 credit equals a test through 34 different email clients, meaning we'll show preview renderings of what a campaign creative looks like with images on, images off, above the scrolling fold inside certain email clients, so on and so forth. And then we'll also run it through 18 different spam filters, both web-based and desktop applications. So for anyone that plans on allocating email test credits, you need to be subscribed to our unlimited credit plan, which is $49.99 a month. And then at that point, you can assign and allocate credits in any denomination, minimum being 1, of course, to your clients. So you can sell those at any rate that you'd like. We presently sell individual test credits for $5 a pop. But again, you're in complete control of your billing model. So whichever pricing works best for you is of course fine with us. Okay, so this is client management. Now let's head back to the main client manager. So let's now look at what the application looks from the client perspective. So like I was saying earlier, with the agency model, it's very helpful for an agency that may be managing 10 to 15 different clients to have rather seamless access to each client's account. So what we provide is a 1-click sign-on to any of your clients' accounts. You'll see this little lock and go icon in this last column. And what this allows us to do is hop right over to BMW of North America's account. So now we're logged in as BMW of North America. So the value for this is really twofold. So even if you're reselling or if you're just managing this account on behalf of your client, it's very, very helpful to be able to quickly access. If you're managing on behalf, to be able to go in and create a campaign and send it out for our client. If you're reselling, to be able to do seamless training, seamless demonstration, and support for your particular client. So that's why we've established this functionality. One other note for agency users, if you are managing campaigns on your client's behalf, one helpful thing to mention would be if you're in complete control of the design, development, and deployment of a campaign and your client doesn't take any part in that process, it may be helpful to then create a special user just for that client that just gives them report access but not access to create and send campaigns. So you're never at any danger of your client logging into the account and perhaps disrupting anything that you've worked on or put together. So you can kind of keep some access for your clients, but you can maintain the administrative role, if you will. So, okay, so this is now the perspective of managing our client's account, BMW North America. So now we complete whatever we're doing for our client. So how do we get back to our client manager and our own account? Very simple. Just in the top right, click on Back to Client Manager. And now we're back in our account. So this method is good for, again, any client. Every client will have that option. It's single click, you're in, single click, and you're back out. Okay, so aside from the thunderstorm delay, we're pretty much good on time. So I guess we'll kick it over to do some questions. Again, the question box is sitting to your right on your screen, so feel free to send anything over. And like I said earlier, in case we can't get to it live on the webinar, someone from our team will be responding to everything via email. So again, and then going forward, any questions, please feel free to open up support tickets. And our knowledge base has some more information on Agency Edition as well, but we are standing by to help. All right. So first question, can new clients be added through the API? We're actually in the process of updating our entire API tool sets, and some of those functionalities that we'll be adding will be new methods for handling agency addition. So it won't be confined just to adding new clients, but there'll also be some way to pull out some other data for third-party apps or anything else that you might be running. So I would look for API methods for agency addition in the next 2 or 3 months. All right, so on billing, we are not offering any discounts to resellers, but as usual, the more bulk credits you buy, the less you pay per email credit, so just keep that in mind. Can I create a client-branded weekly email to announce the stories published without logging into each client? Oh, sorry, okay. I created a blog that is privately branded with PHP code. Can I create a client-branded weekly email to announce the stories published without logging into each client account? No, if it's going to be for that particular client, you'll still have to log into their account. Next question, is there any mention of Inbox 25? There's no mention within the application of Inbox 25. Our whole goal is to have a strong anonymity component so that, again, when you're reselling or acting as an agency or trying to pass this off as your own application and service, obviously we don't want to be mentioned anywhere. So everywhere within the application, if you're logged in as a client, we've completely removed any reference to Inbox 25, and that includes email confirmations that go out. One thing that we didn't cover in the webinar is, there's a few automated system email messages that get sent out. When you create an account, schedule a campaign, so on, that actually gets branded with the logo that you upload into the system as well. So we are absolutely anonymous in the background and not part of the front end. Another question, which is pretty common, will we get in contact with your clients if there's any problems? And the answer is no. As far as we're concerned, those are your clients, and you are our clients. So if there's ever a problem with your clients, we will address it and take it up with you directly. So there's never any contact between our team and your end client unless really there's some type of a support request that needs to be escalated to us, in which case we can act on your behalf. If I have 10 clients and the combined needs for sending emails goes above 125,000, what is the volume limit? Or can we buy as many credits in bulk as needed? Yes, you can buy as many credits as you'd like. We don't have a ceiling on the number of credits that you can buy, particularly in this case when you're adding additional credits to an account that you're going to allocate for reselling purposes. So at any time, without restriction, you can add as many credits as you'd like to an account. Can we create a client template and reuse where we have predefined campaigns, triggers, etc., which we may speed up new client creation? So our new template editor is set to be released shortly, hopefully the next few weeks. We've been at this for a while. But one of the elements that we're going to be implementing is the ability for our resellers and agencies to create templates that they can then import into the system and reuse over and over again. And that would be good for both standard campaigns and for triggers, so you don't have to go through and put everything together each time you create a campaign. So The answer to that is yes. It's just dependent on the release of our template editor. The favorite icon for Inbox 25 in the browser, can that be removed? Yes. In fact, this came up after we announced last week, and we're doing a very quick on-the-spot release to actually allow you to, A, remove it altogether, or replace it with your own. Can I offer my clients monthly packages? At this time, I would say yes, you could. You can, because you can, again, you can put together your billing structure and payment structure any way that you would like. But obviously, we won't have the automated billing component added in, and then each month you would have to allocate credits and manage the appropriate level yourself. But for us, for right now, the main structure is based on allocation of credits that don't expire. So with that model, it gets a little bit difficult to offer a seamless monthly plan. But depending on how things go with this and how things progress and what our community of agencies are requesting, or also resellers, we're certainly open to really adding anything that would be of value to our users. Let's see. Okay, it looks like we have about 10 or 15, 14 questions that you guys have posted that I will be getting back to you guys on one, or someone from our team will. We're at 2:01 right now, so I'm going to wrap up the webinar. Thank you again, everyone. I apologize for the outage there, and thank you for staying with us. I'll send out an email again just after this, and everyone will have a link to watch the webinar again. But I'll also do an email to all the attendees, so if there's any follow-up questions besides the ones that were asked through the question panel, we can take it from there via email. But I suspect we'll also be doing more webinars around Agency Edition. So again, thank you, everyone, and have a great day.